In less than a year, the eyes of the world will be on Paris. Tonight, the focus is on San Jose as Simone Biles, the best in the sport, goes for a record-breaking 8th national title. Alongside another Olympic all-around champ, Suni Lee, here to make a statement of her own. Plus, 2 more Tokyo Olympians hoping to return to the sport's biggest stage next year. The road to the 2024 Olympics goes through the national championships starting tonight. NBC Sports welcomes you to the 2023 Xfinity U.S. Gymnastics Championships. And we welcome you to the Bay Area of California, just about an hour or so southeast of San Francisco, here in San Jose. The SAP Center, where the Sharks of the NHL normally play, reserved this week, though, for the best gymnasts from across America. They are here to win national titles tonight. It's the opening night of 2 for the women. Hi, everyone. Welcome Terry Gannon along with Sam Pesek, who was part of that 2008 Olympic silver medal for Team USA, also a world champ in 2007. Let's see, Sam, where should we start? Oh, maybe Simone Biles?
I think that's a good place to start. Let's do it.
I agree. Listen, so much anticipation when she made that announcement that she was making a comeback, and we just saw her compete in the Chicago area a few weeks ago. She was sensational.
A lot of people question whether or not she would be just as good as she was in the last quad. And not only is she doing a vault that no other woman in the world can do, she also won the all-around by 5 points, which typically meets can come down to tenths of a point. She even said it herself that she feels better both mentally and physically than she did in 2021. Which
is scary for the rest of the field, but it's a great field. When you talk about the people who are here, the gymnasts who are competing this week in San Jose, you could argue that it is the most accomplished field that we've seen compete at the national championships.
Well, to put it in perspective, it has never happened before that 2 Olympic all-around champions have competed together at a championships. And not to mention all of the other superstars that are in this field. There are 58 world and Olympic medals won by athletes in this competition. What I'm trying to say, Terry, is you're in for a treat, okay?
32 of those, by the way, Simone Biles, 7 Olympic and 25 world medals. So it is a great field. That includes that other Olympic all-around champ, Suni Lee, as we welcome in John Roethlisberger, the 4-time U.S. all-around champ. The one thing, John, she's not entirely healthy here.
Yeah, that's correct, Terry. This past February, Suni came down with a kidney condition. And at the time, it shut down her gymnastics and effectively ended her collegiate season for the Auburn Tigers. Since that time, she has worked very closely with doctors to manage her health, and it has improved significantly as she has resumed full-time training. However, for those that hope they would see her in the all-around here, according to one of her coaches, Jess Graba, her endurance isn't quite at the level he wants it to be in order for her to do the all-around. A lot of you know what it's like to cram for a test, right? Well, he said you can't cram for stamina. They've decided to play it safe, not risk injury, and get prepared for the World Selection Camp that's coming up in about 3 weeks. They're hoping she can do the all-around, and most importantly, the uneven bars, an event she can significantly help Team USA.
All right, so John, thank you. So we're getting underway here, and Simone Biles will start on beam in just a little bit. But it is Jade Carey, the 23-year-old from Phoenix, now a star at Oregon State. And she starts on floor exercise, the Tokyo Olympic gold medalist on floor.
This is an area that she's really been focusing on. There's a lot of artistry deductions we're going to talk throughout the meet, and that's a point of emphasis for Jade. Her tumbling is already world class. Huge double layout, double twist in the air. see her smiling at the end there. You know she's a little disappointed that she didn't land completely upright on that last pass, but again, it's a big improvement on the artistry. You see her dad there, Brian, and Tanya Chaplin, who's the head coach at Oregon State, who's here with her as well, and she said it's been a huge help having them to focus on artistry. The eye contact is something that she's been working on as well.
That's some of the great images from Tokyo at the Olympics, and her dad Brian right there alongside every time she finished a routine, and now he is helping coach at Oregon State.
He is, and check out this. I wonder if all the girls at Oregon State are going to be able to do this pass next. This is 2 flips, 2 twists in the air, extremely challenging. And last pass, double back. This is where we see that she saved herself from going out of bounds. She didn't put her heels down there, but that's going to hurt the ankles, and she's going to get a deduction for that.
USA Gymnastics Athlete of the Year in 2022, an Olympic gold medalist, but still competing at Oregon State, and obviously on the elite level too. All right, how about the 19-year-old from Overland Park, Kansas, Leanne Wong? You mentioned all the medalists a moment ago from the World and Olympics and the World Championships. This is the all-around silver medalist back in 2021. Short time ago, she opened on vault.
She's doing a Yurchenko double full. Really a good job. Of course, there's 2 things we're looking at here, that difficulty score and the execution. You can see her execution on vault is above a 9, and that is phenomenal here.
And it's in green, giving you a little help there with the green, the yellow, and the red. Green is excellent, yellow is good, and you don't want the red.
Red is bad. Red means there's room for improvement. None of these athletes want to be in the red. They want to be in the green.
More succinctly said, it's just bad, yeah. Hey, how about Jocelyn Robertson? I mean, you talk about a wave of confidence right now. The 17-year-old from Texarkana, Texas. And, you know, that road to this point, you go back in 2nd grade, she did a presentation on Simone Biles, and now here she is competing against her.
How sweet is this? I know when talking to Jocelyn, she really looks up to all of these older athletes, and how cool for her to get to train with one of her heroes and learn from her.
I was on the podium just a few weeks ago at the Core Hydration Classic with Simone Biles, came in 3rd in the all-around. So a moment ago, the effort on balance beam.
Sometimes athletes find it really difficult to start on this event because you have so much adrenaline, you're so amped up for the competition. It can oftentimes be tough to calm down, but her first skill was that tuck full and handles it nicely. Shaky connection there. I want to see her arms in a specific position to help her continue the flow of that. Great work.
That's interesting what you said, though. So you'd rather have a more explosive event that takes energy to open up with?
It's different for every athlete. I love beam at any stage of the competition, but for a lot of people, especially powerful athletes, it can be tougher to absorb the beam and calm your nerves. See, she was a little crooked on that skill, but pulls it back on. And it's always difficult on balance beam in particular when you have a wobble, not to have it be contagious. You don't want that one wobble to turn into 2 or 3. It was a good routine from Jocelyn, but I've seen her do better, and I know that she's happy this is a 2-day competition because it's almost like you get another redo on day 2 of competition.
Yeah, this is the first of 2 nights of the competition here, 13.2 for Jocelyn Robertson. How about Jade Carey? Floor exercise 13.35, not what she was looking for?
No, she's a perfectionist. All these athletes are. It's a sport that breeds perfectionists, of course, but this is an athlete that expects a lot, especially coming back to the elite competition scene.
All right, so again, you want to be in green here. Just, I mean, there's no fast and true method to this, but we're just giving you an example of those scores. And excellent in green, safe for yellow, below average. You said bad, but we'll go with below average. It's nicer.
It's a little more politically correct.
And those are based on recent competitions, high-level competitions.
Gymnasts are each other's worst enemy, okay? So you know that they know every deduction, even if it doesn't show to the judge. That's how particular these athletes are.
Noah Matthews from nearby Gilroy. She was born in San Jose a moment ago on vault.
She's just doing that Yurchenko layout full. It's one of the vaults that has the least amount of difficulty, and that's reflected there in that D score, the difficulty score, with a 4.2.
Also very confident coming in. She's been competing very well. 13th, though, in the all-around last year in 2022. Calif DiCello over on uneven bars. So first time we're going with 2 bars. Here's the 19-year-old from Boyd's, Maryland. An alternate for the Tokyo Olympics. And Florida Gator. John's going to talk more about that, but so many athletes now, women in this sport, who are able to go back and compete in college and come back to the elite level.
And it is the same sport, Terry, but we have to point out just how difficult that transition is, because they're doing significantly more difficulty in these elite routines than in college.
Yeah, you train differently, different skills. It's an adjustment.
I spoke to the high performance team before this competition, and they said Kayla's actually one of the athletes that they've been really impressed with in training. How much she's improved. That's what they're expecting, to see a really big improvement from classics to this meet. And it's just been a couple weeks, Terry.
Here we go. Wow.
Man, that is not how you want to start this competition. Really difficult physically, but also mentally, to start your routine over knowing that you already have a fall. Great handstand work throughout this routine. You have to work a little harder since she had that fall at the beginning of her routine. And it's impressive not to turn that one mistake into 2.
Yeah, so early on in that routine to make that mistake and come off the bars and then have to start again.
And I really attribute that. They compete a lot in college. So you have to get used to having a short-term memory, brushing it off, and...
You can tell, look on her face there.
Yeah, disappointing.
Check in with John again.
Yeah, guys, you were talking a little bit about the transition from elite gymnastics and college gymnastics and vice versa. Well, historically, elite gymnasts going to compete in college has effectively meant an end to their elite careers. However, that is a trend that we have seen blow up in the last couple of years. Just at this championships, we have 5 big names who competed in this most recent collegiate season that are back now competing elite. Moments ago, we just saw Calif DiCello, who's competing for the Florida Gators. Olympic champion Jade Carey is competing for Oregon State. Olympian Jordan Childs competed for UCLA. And world medalist Leanne Wong, a teammate of Calif DiCello, is also at the Florida Gators. And of course, Olympic all-around champion Suni Lee. Kayla, Jordan, and Suni have left their universities to resume training with their elite coaches, while Leanne and Jade have decided to stay and train at their schools. But regardless, Sam, they have shown that you can indeed go to college and come back to elite. The landscape is certainly changing.
Well, as an athlete that did both college gymnastics and elite gymnastics, man, I can't imagine just how tough that is to finish a complete college season and jump right in to training even more intense than in college.
Name, image, and likeness, NIL, is a big part of that these days, too, and the reason why you see more and more. All right, how about Sky Blakely, the 18-year-old from Frisco, Texas, a moment ago on uneven bars. Second recently at that U.S. Classic, the Core Hydration Classic in uneven bars.
And this is a really good event for herself. Nice combination work, really good distance away from the bar. Very detail oriented. Just the dismount I ran into her and her parents at dinner last night, and she told me that she breaks down every element of her bar routine and watches it over and over so that every angle can be that precise.
Committed to compete for the Florida Gators. His sister's there. Sky 14.4, and she was part of that World Championship team in 2022 for the U.S. 6 straight gold medals.
Whew. Not too bad.
Just absolutely dominant. And expecting that once again. That's the highest score so far tonight, so positive for Sky. 5 members, the team for the Olympics this time around. It was 4 last time. You glad they went back to 5?
I am. I think all these athletes should go to the Olympics, but there can only be 5. And I think this is a really crucial competition to show the selection committee, hey, I can hit 2 competitions in one weekend.
That schedule you talked about, though, that is the adjustment from college going back then to elite and the different skills as well. 12.3, disappointing, obviously, for Kayla DiCello on uneven bars. Zoe Miller getting set on the balance beam. The 17-year-old from Spring, Texas, who is coached by Laurent and Cecile Landy. Obviously, Simone Biles coaches, so they train together.
Her best event is bars. We're going to see it a little bit later, but this is probably next on our list. I was talking to her yesterday, and she said sometimes I have a hard time putting my beam practice in the competition because I can get really nervous. So that's something that she's working on. Great job. You saw her back foot stutter there going into that combination, but no wobbles at the end. She's doing a nice job. She looks calm. Her chest is good posture. That looks easy, but it is really difficult to finish sideways on the beam. Good dismount. She's going to be really proud of herself for that. That was an area of improvement. She's an athlete that's tough on herself like all these athletes, but I think that's a win for Zoe.
The look on her face, though, was like, I got through that.
Yeah.
Barely maybe, but I got through it. Mentioned she trains with Simone Biles. They dance as well, the celebratory dance. Haven't seen it yet, but we will tonight at some point. Still to come, Simone Biles opening up on balance beam. She gets this night 1 underway when we continue here in San Jose. The 2023 Xfinity U.S. Gymnastics Championships are brought to you by Core Hydration. Core Hydration believes that wellness is whatever works for you. Find your balance, find your core. By Prevagen. By Angie. Visit Angie.com to connect with skilled professionals for all your home projects. And by Xfinity, the Xfinity 10G network. The future starts now. Opening night for the women here at the Xfinity U.S. Gymnastics Championships. Simone Biles still to start the competition. She'll be on balance beam. About Sky Blakely and what we saw on uneven bars here just a few moments ago. What'd you pick up, John?
Yeah, judging for gymnastics, I mean, it is complicated. We could do days about how this sport is judged, but the one thing to look at here on bars that people don't realize are handstand angles. Now you can see she gets 10 free degrees with no deduction. Between 10 and 30, that is a 3/10 deduction. If you go to where she is right there, you go over that 30, you are going to get a 5/10 deduction. That seems brutal to me, Sam. That great skill can lose 5/10, but that is the reality of women's gymnastics.
And that's why she films every single time she does bars, so she can break it apart.
All right, over to balance beam, and the 22-year-old from Vancouver, Washington, Jordan Childs, part of that silver medal. She was a big part of that effort in Tokyo for the U.S. The team event.
Of course, scores are made up with the D score, difficulty, and the E score, execution. And her execution score at Classics was a 7.2, so I know she is hungry to improve that here. This is looking so solid. You can see it in her face. Usually when an athlete salutes, especially on beam, you can tell if they're gonna have a good routine or not. She broke that connection. That means she won't get full bonus there. She started off this routine and looking a little shaky right here. Trying to smile and loosen up a little bit to finish this strong. And it was a good finish. Of course, those wobbles are going to affect her E score, the execution score, which is based out of a 10.0.
That big moments at the U.S. Championships, silver in the all-around back in 2017, and a two-time all-around bronze medalist as well. So we'll get the numbers for Jordan Childs in just a few moments. Shilese Jones getting set, the 21-year-old from Seattle, Washington, and actually a moment ago opened up on vault.
Opens with a huge Yurchenko double full.
Got a great ability. She's coming back from injuries that have taken her out recently.
Look at that execution score, 9.35, and that's out of a 10.0, and it was almost textbook in the air. Her legs were glued together. She had nice lift off the table and almost floated to the ground.
Major injury to her shoulders, had a foot injury, and that was sensational. Okay, here we go. Simone Biles getting ready to start here. Night one for the women in San Jose, and it will be on balance beam. You think about what she has accomplished throughout her career to this point. She's not done yet, but I mean, it is certainly in the modern era the most decorated gymnast that we have seen. 7 Olympic medals, 4 of them gold in Rio, 25 world medals. That's more than anybody, 19 of them gold. Tonight starts that run towards an 8th all-around title at this championship. And oh, by the way, she was away from competition for 18 months. She got married to Jonathan Owens, defensive back, now with the Packers. Presidential Medal of Freedom presented by President Biden, and now back, wowing us once again in competition.
She's incredible. And I think what's impressive to me is that she's not just trying to maintain. Every time you talk to her, she's trying to improve something, whether it's her mental toughness out of the gym or her new combinations in the gym. Ooh. That was uncharacteristic, but I did see her have a little wobble on that in the touch warm-up as well. Triple wolf turn there. Slight deduction for coming up and back down. No problems with her triple series. Finishing, no problems with that full in. You have to imagine the media, the pressure, the noise was a little bit muted while she's training. after coming back and winning the all-around at Classics by 5 points, there's a lot more distractions than she had to manage before she came back to competition.
Sam, so often it looks like she's just performing, not really competing, because she's so in control. From the wobble at the start, she fought for that.
Let's see what happened. She does a switch leap on the beam, and it looks like her toes were off the left side of the beam. I mean, you see her eyes looking at the end of the beam. They do not waver, and that's how you handle being a little crooked. And again, you can see her foot not fully planted on the beam, and this is a skill that's tough to pull back on track, but she does it here with this triple series. Handspring layout, layout, and she was even a little crooked on that, but no deductions. Finishing strong with that extremely difficult tuck full in dismount.
Just watching the young kids in the front row there, just with their cameras out there, their phones, and the reaction at the end. I mean, it was something in the Chicago area a few weeks ago, and now at a national championship here.
How cool for these athletes who maybe didn't get a chance to watch her compete in the last quad, get to see her come back to competition here.
Yeah, Sam, you talked about the difficulty and how she's continuing to push that greatness we saw before. You know, back at the U.S. Classic a couple weeks ago, her total difficulty value was actually higher than it was at the U.S. Championships the last time we saw her compete prior to the Tokyo Olympics. So you brought it up. She's not messing around. First meet out of the gate, boom, Simone Biles raising the bar for herself as well.
She's always pushing the boundaries, but what I appreciate about her is her candor. She said that she was nervous, admittedly so, coming back to competition. You can't simulate this environment.
And no one knows what she goes through. You can imagine it as an athlete, but the pressure that she's under and the attention. 14.45, the number to open up with on balance beam.
Yeah, you know, we saw a lot of her quotes after that U.S. Classic, and we saw what she went through in Tokyo. You know, there's a lot of talk about the new word in American lexicon, the twisties, right, and what she went through. It is amazing all the athletes I talked to after that said, I went through that, I went through that. And you had the pressure, Terry, that you alluded to. You can't imagine how difficult that was for her to navigate that, certainly.
All right, about to go on balance beam, Tiana Suminasekara, the 15-year-old from Pleasanton, California.
She's a younger athlete in this competition, so I'm interested to see how she's going to handle this pressure. I mean, going after Simone Biles, I know it's her teammate, but it's always a little bit more pressure following a superstar. Huge smile. This is one of her best events, and you're going to see why. She works in and out of her skills really beautifully. If you notice her eyes, when she finishes each skill, her eyes are locked at the end of the beam. That really helps your balance when you're moving through routines. Finishing back handspring, double pike. That's definitely a routine to smile about, Terry.
How impressive. Her debut season on this, or at this level, the senior elite level, and had success at the U.S. Championships as a junior, and then had an international assignment, went to the Pan American Championships, part of the gold medal for the team, but also in the all-around and on this event, balance beam.
This is her dismount, generating that power from the back handspring on the beam. And again, when she lands, she's spotting the end of the beam right there to get her chest up for the finish.
By the way, highest number we've seen so far? Do I have to tell you?
Let me guess, is it Simone?
I think it is, yes. I believe so. So we'll get the number for Tiana in just a moment. Close group of athletes, isn't it? Who train together and spend so much time together.
And I was walking around practice, and they're goofy. They give each other a hard time. They support each other. I mean, what a cool group. It's the definition of iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, every single day yes, you're training together, but you're competing too on some level.
Yeah, they are. And you know, when Simone's coming back and adding all of these difficult combinations, guess who it pushes? Zoe Miller right there to her left and Jocelyn Robertson on her right.
So we continue here with this rotation. The 16-year-old from Dallas, Mandre Johnson, who is in her first senior elite season as well. The U.S. Junior all-around champ in 2022.
Few things that you're looking for on this event is form, execution, swing, and angles. I'll point it out to you. She's showing good rhythm. That's the swing. Struggling a bit to get those handstands fully vertical. I spoke to some of the bar judges yesterday, Terry, and they told me one of the things they're really looking for is crisp lines. That means those handstands fully vertical.
She was also part of that team that went to the Pan American Championships and won it in May. So I'm going to say for a 13.85 for that effort on balance beam. So we head to that second rotation. We will see the other Olympic all-around champ, Suni Lee, compete beyond vault as we continue here. Night one for the women at the National Championships in San Jose. Back in San Jose, the first of 4 rotations done right now. Yep, it's Simone Biles who has the lead. Sky Blakely, then Shilese Jones. Got a tie for 5th right now. Just a reminder, not every gymnast is competing in the all-around, all 4 of the events. Suni Lee, for example, we're about to see her on vault, and she is competing on vault and beam. So we continue with the National Championship, night 1 of 2 here in San Jose, the SAP Center. Back here at the National Championships in San Jose, out to the balance beam, and Sky Blakely.
This is a really good event for her. She has a lot of difficulty jam-packed in this routine. She actually had the 2nd highest difficulty score on beam behind Simone at Classics. Oh no. There must be something in the water with those wolf turns. Everyone seems to be struggling a bit on those. This is another difficult skill, a standing tuck full. Perfect.
Those turns are hard, aren't they?
They are.
I mean, everything looks hard to the average person like me. But you hear gymnasts talk about that.
It's interesting. Sky is an athlete that has a lot of big tricks, I would say, those acro skills, and she handles them nicely, but sometimes under pressure, it's the dance elements, the turns, the leaps that give these athletes the most trouble. Nice combination work. You know, she had that wobble at the beginning of her routine, but these athletes aren't expected to be at 100% yet. But they do want to see, does she have enough mental toughness to make it through the rest of her routine with minimal deductions? And she did exactly that. There was no other problems in this beam routine. That was the most significant deduction I saw.
6th in the all-around at the U.S. Championships in 2022 as we take you over to uneven bars and the teenager from nearby, Gilroy, California, Nola Matthews now. And this is her favorite event.
And she added some difficulty on this event that we're going to see. Right here, this is the new combination. You know what? She did not connect it here in this routine, so that's going to affect her difficulty score. It's going to be a bit lower than expected. Oh. Didn't quite have enough juice to make it to that high bar there.
Seen a couple of bar routines so far, and that's happened in both.
Yeah, these athletes do so many routines. They are well prepared. A lot of times mistakes happen because of the nerves, the adrenaline. She's gonna repeat that skill that she fell on right there. Finishing double layout. Now, when you go to repeat a skill, you want it to be perfect, but it's also frustrating knowing that you could make it perfect on the second try.
The reaction says it all.
Let's see what went wrong here. Toe full, she didn't quite get her momentum equal in both hands before she was going.
Families here. I mentioned she was born in San Jose. Gilroy is just down the road. Yeah, they couldn't believe that moment. First of 2 nights, though. So she was fourth on uneven bars last year at the U.S. Championships. We'll see the number 14:05, Sky. And our first look at Suni Lee in competition tonight. The 20-year-old from St. Paul, and who is the all-around champ at the Olympics. As you mentioned, it's the first time at the U.S. Championships we've had 2 Olympic all-around gold medalists competing against each other.
Yeah, and her and Simone Biles are actually in 2 different places in their comeback journey right now. I'm really inspired by Suni. She's having a lot of health problems that she's battling and fighting through. We got a chance to speak to her at Classics, and every single day is a new day. And instead of her wanting to win the competition, she's really just trying to improve day to day.
Just competing on vault and balance beam here.
Just a Yurchenko full. Like we mentioned, she has a lot more difficulty, but is playing it safe to protect her body right now.
It's really the unknown right now as she adjusts to the kidney issues she's had and the medication as well, trying to find that right balance.
But of course, really nice technique in this vault. Her arms are straight on the table, her arms open right before the landing. Perfect timing there. You know it's a good timer for more difficulty to come.
Sophomore season at Auburn was cut short because of those health issues.
Yeah, I talked to her coach, Jess Grabe, a little bit before the competition, you guys. And Sam, you and I have talked about this, how she could probably do bars and beam and make a world or Olympic team. And I asked him, you know, does she want to be an all-arounder? And he said, there is no doubt she wants to be an all-arounder. She wants to go and defend that all-around Olympic title she had at the Olympic Games. She doesn't want to be considered a specialist. Her goal is to be on all 4 events.
Which is what's making this comeback even more challenging, that she can't get back out there and do her best event bars.
13.35, the number for that vault. So we take you over to floor next, and Jordan Childs getting set to go, John.
Yeah, you know, a lot of athletes talk about, hey, we're going to go out and have fun. We're just going to have fun on the floor. Well, Sam, I think you'd agree. Jordan Childs is one that I think she actually lives the words that she speaks. I don't know if anybody has more fun than Jordan Childs. I taught her that move right there. That's mine.
We got a camera right behind you, you know.
No, she really has a great time. And we've seen it in college, right? Competing for UCLA all collegiate season. She's out there having a blast, and it's good to see. Why not have a good time, right?
That's that celebration, the dance that I referenced. And the guys were out here in training the other day trying to do it. They didn't quite go to that level.
Were they trying to do the vault that she did right before that too? Because
no,
you got to do the vault before you can do the dance.
Is that right? It's mandatory. So here we go with her floor routine.
She's got a new floor routine. She said one is Beyonce, the other 3 artists, she wants to be a surprise. So take it all in, Carrie.
All right.
deductions have been such a focus for these athletes, and I want you to check out Jordan Childs' facial expressions throughout this routine. She is so entertaining. A complete performance. You see that with that yellow flag. It's a 1/10 deduction. Finishing double pike. I'd like to see her have a little bit more endurance to get her chest up on the landing. See her take a big, deep breath there, but she goes all out for that choreography. I love it.
You know what? Whether it's Westwood or San Jose, SoCal or the Bay Area, she enjoys every single second of competition.
She does. Her UCLA coach, BJ Doss, choreographed both her routine and Simone Biles' routine, and they really want to make that an important part of the performance.
How tired are you by the time you get to that last pass?
Part of your job is to make it look like you're not tired. So you see that big deep breath before she goes for her last pass. Double pike, which is an easy skill for her. Right here, you can see when her feet hit the ground, she's in a pike position.
Not out of breath now, so wasn't that tired at that point. John,
No,
what do you think?
she is so physical.
Yeah, I talked to her one of her coaches, Laurent Landy, before the competition, and I wanted to ask him about her because I watched her last year come off that collegiate season and just make an amazing run to the World Championships. She started slow. Even she admitted that she was a little behind going into the Classics, and he said she's made some progress, but in his words, she's about 70%. But I'll tell you what, you saw this floor routine. You did not see that at the U.S. Classics, and that was a darn good floor routine. Jordan Childs has the ability to dig deep where other athletes can't. I think she is going to be a real contender for this World Championship.
And it is about peaking at the right time, too, right? We at Classic a few weeks ago, fine, but now here at the Championships, there's still a world selection camp to pick that World Championship team ahead of the Olympics.
Well, her goal is really set on the Olympics. She wants to go to World Championships and, of course, wants to do well here, but it's not the end goal for her.
So we're going back to back on floor with Jordan Childs and Simone Biles. Not bad.
How did we get so lucky?
It's pretty good. What's going through your mind right now if you are a gymnast, you're waiting? You going through your routine?
There's a few different things that you can do. I'm imagining, since she looks like she's taking it all in, taking a big deep breath, and we call it mental choreography. And it's the routine of words you say in your head. Sometimes athletes like corrections, like stand up taller on your first pass. Other athletes like, you got this. I've done all the practice I can do. It's going to be amazing. But it's really important that you fill your head with a lot of positive self-talk, because you do not want the negativity to creep in these moments.
It's unlike many other sports. There's simultaneous action taking place. I mean, there are 4 different events, apparatus, obviously, and you're waiting while that is going on. Ready now. just continues to do things that shouldn't be possible.
I'm just sitting here in awe. She did have one out of bounds that we saw on her third pass, but it's what we in gymnastics call a good mistake because she had too much power coming out of that difficult pass.
And it's amazing to watch the other gymnasts. They don't warm up, they don't stretch, they watch Simone Biles when she's out there.
Just after.
Minimal conversation as we try to listen in. Take another look.
This was a highlight for me. Perfect form in the air. Nails the landing. Here's her combination pass. Front layout full. Into a double-double. Now, a lot of people do the double-double as their first and hardest pass, but not Simone. Here's where we saw her having too much momentum. So sometimes that happens when you're feeling tired and you need to give a little bit more momentum to your passes. That could have happened to her, but again, a good mistake to do in this competition. Finishing with an easy, I say easy, because it's easy for Simone, double layout.
Easy. Air quotes, easy, yes. Making it look easy.
And I have to point out her difficulty. She has a 6.8, which is 4/10 higher than any other D score in the competition.
Yeah, the difference in that difficulty score and sometimes in the victories, as you referenced at the beginning of the night, just numbers that nobody else approaches.
Yeah, execution is important, and she does a good job on execution, but it's not even as important for a Simone Biles because that's how much difficulty she has jam-packed in these routines.
If there are any questions as in this comeback as to whether she would be at the same level or approach it the same way, they've been answered. Yes, there have been strategic changes to routines, but more based on the rule book and how it's interpreted now than whether or not it's difficult.
Yeah, and we talk about the twisties. John spoke about it a little earlier in her difficulties at the last Olympics with that, and they have minimized the amount of twisting elements and switched some skills around, which is extremely tough to do.
Okay, the numbers are so high that the computer's not working. The scores, it's taken a while, I think. So we'll get that number for Simone as we continue with the action here. Night one for the women in San Jose. Back to remind you, Big Ten football is coming to NBC and Peacock. To kick things off, it's West Virginia taking on Penn State. The premiere of Big Ten Saturday night. Here comes Saturday night. Second rotation here, night one for the women. Simone Biles, 14.8 the number.
Yeah, well, you're looking at that difficulty of a 6.8, and you guys are talking about it, and we will talk about it a lot, but I just want to put some perspective on how Simone's comeback has gone so far. Last fall at the World Championships, Rebecca Andrade won the all-around. Her difficulty total on all four events was a 23.9. Simone already almost has 2 points on her if you add up all of her difficulty totals from the U.S. Classic.
Goes to
absolutely absurd.
Yeah, it goes to exactly what you're talking about. And yes, the execution is really good, but it's even better based on that difficulty number. All right, how about uneven bars now with Leanne Wong. Second in the all-around recently at that Classic in suburban Chicago. So it's a good start after being on the World Championships team, the gold medal team in 2022.
She's one of those athletes that is transitioning from the NCAA season back into that elite scene. You can see her coaches on the sidelines from the University of Florida. Owen Field right there, standing in. Nice difficulty transition element. That's called a Bahard wash. is so impressive.
Her coach agrees.
Yeah. She's really been in charge of her training, they said, and she's kind of that mature athlete and knows exactly what she needs. Hugs all around. That's her head coach, Jenny Roll, in there.
Uneven bars chant from the U.S. Championships in 2022 shared that with Shilese Jones. Over to floor, Jocelyn Robertson in 11th place after that opening rotation.
Tumbling pass. This is an athlete you're going to want to watch on this floor team. She got second at Classics. She said one of her goals on this routine is to get everyone clapping by the end of it.
Goal achieved.
Save on that last pass. I saw her go out of bounds twice. But again, those are over rotation. That means she has enough endurance. Those are good mistakes right now in this competition.
Really impressive. Only 17 years of age. Finished her junior year in high school. Committed to the University of Arkansas. Perhaps on the road to Paris before that. We'll see.
This first pass adds so much difficulty value to her routine. Check it out. It's extremely tough to do. Round off back handspring. Double in a laid out position. Gonna have a little deduction for her leg form there, but wow, nice smile at the end.
Now part of that team with Simone Biles, coached by Laurent and Cecile Landy. Somebody posted back when she was just 9 years of age in 2015 this video, which is pretty wild.
This is crazy.
And then Simone saw it and posted this. I'm in awe. Someone help me find this cutie. I want to meet her so she could teach me a thing or two.
How cool for Jocelyn to now get to be training partners with the Simone Biles. I wonder if she fangirled on her first day.
And on the podium together recently at that classic that you mentioned. And just getting started in many ways. You know, the gymnastics world, maybe the real fans have known about her for a while, but we're just being introduced to her, and she is talented.
Sometimes when you go from being at the junior level to the senior level, it adds a lot of pressure. She's really stepping into that.
So an even 14 on bars for Leanne Wong, who's been a world all-around silver medalist. Into fourth right now for Leanne. So we get the number for Jocelyn Robertson as we continue here rotation 2 of night 1 in San Jose for the women. Back with the number for Jocelyn Robertson, 13-3 for floor exercise. You mentioned the 2 penalties, the out of bounds, the steps.
Yeah, she's going to want to stay in bounds next time, increase her score there, but that's an easy fix.
So rotation 2 continues. Jade Carey a moment ago. You see her talking to her dad and her coach, Brian, but 7-time world medalist, but also the reigning national champ on vault, and that's what she was on.
Oof. Really short there at the end. She's such a quick athlete. She really missed the block off the table to finish in an upright position.
All right, how about Charlize Jones, the 21-year-old from the Seattle area who mentioned the shoulder injury and the foot injury, but also back in 2021 was in a car accident, fractured her back and her foot there, so a lot to come back from. Lost her dad. She was so close to him. Sylvester passed away back in December of 2021.
Terry, you talked about her having an injury earlier this year. This is the event that's been the toughest for her to come back from. But great work so far in this routine. It's jam-packed with difficulty. She said she's been working hard on that mental training outside, and you can see the benefits there.
That bar routine, you can't overstate how big that bar routine is, not just for her personally back out here on the floor, but Team USA, that 14-9 right there, that is Team USA gold. Charlize Jones just did a big favor to herself right there.
That is a big number, and uneven bars champ, co-champ last year at the national championships, and a big move here in rotation 2 for Charlize Jones, making a statement. So it has been Simone Biles leading the way, and we get the number for Charlize and tied at the top. So we move on here with the action. Opening night, San Jose. So through 2 rotations here in San Jose on night 1 for the women. I was doing some calculations going to break, and it's confirmed now. Tied at the top, that 14-9 from Charlize Jones. What a number.
Woohoo! Bars is definitely her best event and her ticket to make these future teams. Incredible job.
So it's Charlize and Simone at the top. Sky Blakely, Leanne Wong, Caitlin Jong rounding out the top 5 here midway through. 2 rotations in the books, 4 in all here at the National Championships. Back here at the Xfinity U.S. Gymnastics Championships, Terry Gannon along with the Olympic silver medalist Sam Pesek and four-time U.S. all-around champ. John Roethlisberger, three-time Olympian as well. So I'm in good company tonight. They know what they're talking about. Well, there's always anticipation for Simone Biles, whatever event, but especially on vault, and that's where she's headed now, along with Jordan Childs. So that team over there to vault is a cool part of the evening.
Terry, I gotta ask you a question. Are you more excited for her difficulty or for the dance at the end of her vault?
Can't separate it. It's all together. It's all one. There's the smile.
She's going to be doing a Yurchenko double full. And her specialty is a controlled landing.
You mean like that?
I mean, could
Just
not
like that.
plan that better. I watched her throughout her college season, and she stuck almost every landing like clockwork.
Can we get the celebration? No?
She's got to wait till Simone
Oh, okay.
also
I
hits
got
it.
you.
Patience, Terry.
All right. So we'll get the number for Jordan Childs in a moment. Should be a good one. And then it's Simone Biles up next on vault. And with that, we take a look at the Prevagen memorable moment. And there's no, this is memorable.
This is a moment that I'm going to remember probably forever. Check it out. Yurchenko double pike, huge. Wow.
No other woman in the world does that on vault. There's the celebration.
Hopefully a little preview of what's to come here.
Our Prevagen memorable moment. The best that she's ever done it? That you've seen?
Yeah, definitely. And I've watched her in practice. She seems, my definition of being a champion is doing your best when the pressure is on, when it's needed. And she's over-rotated a lot of these vaults, which of course I bring that up again. That's a good mistake, that's a safe mistake. But in competitions, she always finds the landing.
So a share of first place through two rotations, and now on vault. Here is Simone Biles.
No one in the world does this.
Just making it commonplace, like it's nothing.
Like it's nothing.
Ho-hum.
I'm speechless because it is just a work of art, the way that she's able to find the landing when her best is needed.
I think that look on her face is, even I am impressed with that.
You know what I think she's saying, Terry? I'm back, baby.
There's no doubt about that.
But really, what's difficult about that, yes, of course, the vault, but she needs to not pat herself on the back too much right now because she's got to stay focused for vault number 2.
Challenge for that title as well.
Getting a few last-minute corrections from her coach, Laurent.
So there is the all-around, and there are the individual apparatus titles as well on the line.
She only did one vault at Classics, so this is her first time in competition doing 2 vaults since her return.
How about the challenge of that, too? Because, I mean, it's that sensational vault. How about 15-7? Come on.
15-8
execution.
And well-deserved, too. You see that penalty, and that's because her coach was standing on the mat. But it's worth it for them to take that deduction for safety reasons. Of course, you don't see her there. She's a little more comfortable with this vault. Too easy. Too easy.
High fives.
Wait for it.
High
Wait
fives.
for it.
They're going to make us wait.
Yeah, they're going to make us wait. And my thought is, it's only the second rotation. At Classics, it was her last and final rotation. Or it was the third. It was wrapping up. So she could be a little bit more casual. Dang.
Go back to that deduction on the first one for a coach being on the mat, though, and he's there for safety reasons.
You see him right there. I mean, this is the most difficult vault in the world. So they are taking the automatic 5/10 deduction. Of course, he didn't spot her, but it is a deduction for him being on the floor. Look how high she gets.
I know. I know. It amazes me every single time. Taking away nothing from any other gymnast, or the most talented in the world. She is so much higher on that than anyone.
She is, and she has to be in order to safely and successfully do this vault, but it seems to be no problem for her. You see Jordan Childs at 9-3 execution. We saw a really clean landing from her as well, and that's why the execution was so high from her in the green.
Subdued celebration at this point.
Yeah.
All right, Jade Carey now. Those moments before the next event, and it will be uneven bars.
And this is an important event for her personally. She always talks about, I want to be known as an all-arounder, and I want to prove to myself I can do it. That's why this event is important for her. She didn't do bars at Classic, so this is her first time competing bars back in the elite competition. Wow. She's really fighting through the rest of this bar routine. Frankly, she's not going to be happy with that.
So from floor to vault and now on bars. Going into this rotation, Jade in 6th place, just outside the top 5.
She almost saved that handstand position and, of course, did her best to minimize the deductions. But, again, she's frustrated. That's a great release move there, but Hardwire's little leg separation. We're going to see that reflected in the execution score. And here's where it went wrong. Handstand, nicely done, opens her hips. Whoa! She let her heels go past her shoulders there. And it might not look like it, but it is so hard. And uses so much strength to try and save that and finish your routine.
So we'll get the number in a moment for Jade Carey on bars. Meanwhile, over on vault, a moment ago, Jocelyn Robertson, first of 2 vaults.
That was a chung vault. I don't know what's in the air with these WCC girls, but they are drilling the landings there.
It's not the opening vault, and now the second one. There's the number, 14.65.
Yurchenko double full and another good controlled landing. We talk about World Championships, the Olympic Games. It's really tough to fit in the amount of talent that we're seeing in these competitions, but really vault is Jocelyn's ticket.
Yeah, she was second on vault at the National Championships last year. Just over 12, the number for Jade Carey.
But I gotta bring up, it's a 2-day competition, so
Yep.
she has a chance to redeem herself.
Over the balance beam and Leanne Wong. Yeah, the numbers carry over to night 2.
She's a beautiful athlete to watch on this event. We talk about the importance of artistry on floor, and really there's an increased artistry deductions on this event as well. What stands out to me about Leanne on beam is her arm positions. They are always in the correct place. Even when she's crooked, she uses her arms to pull her back on, almost like a steering wheel.
As you learn beam growing up, is that one of the keys?
Yeah, I really think the three important things about balance beam are where you're looking. Are you looking at the end of the beam? Your arm positions, which Leanne does better than anyone. And of course, the finish, the landing positions on each skill. Now this is looking good, but she had some problems on her dismount at Classics. This is where she can improve right here. And she does. Big smile. She's working on being a top all-arounder in this competition.
Talk about learning balance beam. I'm always amazed that first time in the gym that you take it to the beam. Whatever skill you're working on, it's got to be frightening.
It is, and that's why a lot of younger athletes have a lot of fear. But, you know, I'm willing to bet if you took a poll and asked these athletes their favorite events, a lot of them would say balance beam because it's hurts your body the least. There's the least amount of pounding on it.
So that number in a moment. And a moment ago on floor exercise, the 17-year-old from Frisco, Texas, Kalia Lincoln. The U.S. junior champ on floor from the national championships 2021.
Huge double-double to start things off. She really makes her skills look effortless in this routine. She actually had knee surgery last year and said the comeback was really tough for her, more so mentally than physically. She said, when I started tumbling again, I realized, wow, I guess I can still tumble like before. So gave herself a lot of confidence there. She doesn't have all of the titles that some of the athletes do in this competition, but this is a name you're not going to want to forget.
Had knee surgery at the beginning of 2022 and over a year without competition, coming back 14.35, just starting her senior year of high school, committed to LSU. Elise Jones had a great evening so far, and earlier her effort up on balance beam.
This is a new mount for her, that switch leap combination. Standing Arabian, that's a really difficult skill because of the blind landing at the end. Oh. Looked like a nervous mistake to me. She looked pretty square on that beam, and sometimes that can happen. It's important to note that the equipment is on a podium, which actually makes the beam bouncier. You have to be more patient and absorb the beam more in order to land your skills. That's another reason athletes come days before to get to practice and adjust to the equipment. finishing. Handspring, handspring, double pike. Good way to finish. I know she wanted to redo that series, get rid of the wobble, but this is her first time competing in a while, and she's dusting the cobwebs off.
Family in attendance, and the applause after that effort on beam 13.45 for Charlize Jones. So she's still got vault left. So near the end of the rotation, Leanne Wong 13.75 for the effort on balance beam. So we step away, and worth another look. The effort on vault. I mean, just the sensational aspect of Simone Biles on this vault. Just as impressive in slow motion. I didn't think it would be, but it is.
It's more impressive in slow motion.
Amazing. Been a good night for Charlize Jones. Still has vault left tonight. Talked about the injuries she's been dealing with and what it's taken to come back to competition this week, but she has overcome much more than that to be here on this stage with the support of her family and community in Seattle.
It's pretty cool when she first came in the gym as a young kid.
She was probably 4 years old, and this little thing just walking in with her Finding Nemo backpack every day.
We knew she was talented, and we had a lot of fun training her early on.
I remember when she was maybe 11 or 12 years old, her father bought her a whiteboard. And he said, you know, this is a board that you can put your goals on. And she put on that whiteboard, I am going to the Olympics.
I was the only one here that had made elite, so I didn't really have any older teammates to look up to. So we picked up our whole immediate family and then moved just to pursue gymnastics with my 12-year-old voice saying that I wanted to go train with Olympians. The beginning of January of 2021, I got hit in a car accident. Broken ankle and broken back. It was devastating. I didn't really feel confident in myself, but I wanted to go out there and do the best I could.
It's 10th place for Charlize Jones tonight here at the Tokyo Olympic Trials.
You know, I never really looked at trying for a second time. It was actually my dad. He was like, I'm going to believe in you that you can go to 2024. And that's kind of when it clicked in, and I was just like, you know what, Dad? Like, I can.
Her dad has dealt with a number of different very serious health issues, and that's a floor routine that she says is dedicated to him.
He had diabetes, so he had a kidney and pancreas transplant because those had both failed. He actually had told me, Shai, I'm not going to make it. My dad always told me, Seattle's where it's meant to be, you're more comfortable there, that's your home. Unfortunately, it didn't click till after he passed away. I was just like, this is what he wanted for me, and we're gonna take those steps and move back home and pursue the dream.
It was pretty surreal, actually, because we wanted to build the team here so that if we ever had Charlize or a kid like that, that we'd be able to help them reach their ultimate goal.
Dad, he would just be ecstatic. Just say, I knew this all along. I knew this all along, and I'm so proud of you.
It just feels great to be at home and finish it where I started.
And it was her dad who inspired her to keep pushing to make it to the Olympics, and she dedicates everything to him now. She's out there competing.
She is a special athlete. I've talked to some of the coaches here at the U.S. Championships and the high performance team for USA Gymnastics, and they say things like, she is the greatest talent I have ever seen. And keep in mind, she's going to training camps in the same gym as Simone Biles. She is a special athlete. I said last year at the U.S. Classic, I go, watch out, Charlize is going to win an all-around medal at the World Championships, and she did. And hopefully for Team USA's sake, we have yet to see the best of Charlize Jones.
Really good signs tonight, too, what we've seen.
Her skills are so unique. They have a pizzazz factor to them. When you watch them, it's almost like a breath of fresh air. They have so much amplitude, and she makes them look so easy.
All right, a moment ago, Zoe Miller see her place after a few rotations, and this on vault.
Ooh, Yurchenko 1.5. She didn't have enough rotation. You see the problems came on the landing for her, and that's why that score is in the red there. But really, her specialty is bars, and she's going there next.
All right, still thinking about what Simone Biles did on vault. I'm going to keep thinking about that. And listen to John as he talks about it.
Yeah, this is like one of my favorite things to talk about of this Simone vault. One of the reasons she is so great and separates herself on this event from so many other athletes is, let's look at the pre-flight from the board to the vault table, first of all. As she comes on, look how quick her hands get to the vault table. Her hands are on the vault table and her feet are still below her hands. The speed on which she gets to the vault table is huge. And now that results in this, the ridiculous height. You know, if Laurent, her coach, is about 5'8" probably, that's at least 2 Laurent Landys in height. And the lady right there in the stands, she's pretty much in the 10th row, seeing eye to eye with Simone Biles. I'm telling you, Terry, you're a basketball player. I could sit on a basketball hoop and I would be seeing eye to eye with Simone Biles on that vault. That is how gigantic it is.
Yeah, that was my vertical back in the day when I was playing.
Now you're lying.
You don't know any better.
Humble brag,
It could have
Terry.
been. Yeah. Not a chance. So one more event left tonight for Simone. We continue rotation 3. You know, there was more of a celebration and reaction a few weeks ago when we saw her compete for the first time in almost 2 years, in about 2 years. Tonight it's more, okay, it's work. It's not work. It's not hard, but it's, I expect this, and now I'm just about getting better and better.
Yeah, if I had to put my analysis on it, Classics was such a release for her.
Yeah.
To rip the Band-Aid back off, and now she's getting into business. Not only is this competition today important, but it's a 2-day competition. She's got her game face on.
All right, how about the 16-year-old, Claremont, Florida, Charlotte Booth on uneven bars a moment ago.
This is her best event. She has really nice lines here, difficult, unique elements off the top like that. What's important about the uneven bars is keeping the rhythm consistent from with the time you mount the bars to the time you finish. And a job well done.
She was third in this in 2021, the junior level on bars at the national championships. Now at the senior elite level, 13.1, the number.
We saw a little leg separation. That's where she can increase her execution score for day 2.
Second season for her on the senior elite level. We go over to floor, and Sky Blakely in third place, so she's right there.
Yeah, yesterday when I ran into her and her parents, I asked her parents, what's it like to watch her compete and watch her do gymnastics? And they said, man, she is all in. She is so inspiring to everyone. She shows so much perseverance. But they do get nervous.
Sure.
With a double-double, out of bounds. This routine is important for her because she didn't do it at Classics. You can tell she's getting her feet wet here with this floor routine. Maybe needs a little bit more endurance to rotate the last pass enough.
Older sister Sloan, collegiate gymnast at Florida. She's committed to the University of Florida.
You heard her say last pass is a little bit short, so it's a work in progress. Again, I gotta say this, they're not trying to be at 100% right now, but it's a stepping stone.
So we'll get the number for her in a moment while we wait. Nola Matthews, Sheriff, 18th place this a moment ago on beam.
She's an athlete that really brings a high level of performance quality, both on floor and on beam.
Back to what you said a moment ago. So you're eyeing the beam.
You do not want to take your eyes off the beam. Which is what makes this skill so difficult, because you start on the side, there's no beam to look at.
Right.
She told us one thing she's really proud of is that she's been able to get to a place to compete with a lot more confidence than she did as a younger athlete. And you're seeing that here. When she's a little crooked, she's not reacting, she's just adjusting. And that's really the difference between junior athletes and the senior athletes that are here today.
So there's the number, an even 13 for the effort on balance beam. Mom got family and friends to come here. The gym sold tickets. It is a home game for her from Gilroy. Sky Blakely, the number 12-9 for the floor exercise. So in the 4th place through 3 rotations, but it is Simone Biles extending her lead. Tied at the top with Shilese Jones, but that vault, that will take you to the top. That's her niece, by the way. That's Simone's niece.
What a nice little cheering section she's got.
Oh, they're looking up on the big screen, too. She sees it up there. That's great. She sees her niece on the screen.
That shoe there.
This thing's caught. I can't. Wait. Okay. We'll talk about Simone.
Okay.
Want to get your kid into gymnastics? Go to sportsengine.com/gymnastics today to find youth programs in your area. Sportsengine.com is the home of youth sports. Not far from San Francisco, here in the Bay Area, San Jose. Opening night for the women through 3 rotations. No big surprise at the top. It is Simone Biles with the lead. Remember, she and Shilese Jones were tied after a couple of rotations, but that vault taking her up to 44.95. Leanne Wong in the top 3, Scott Blakely and Tiana Sumina-Sekera rounding out the top 5. So back here, Terry Gannon along with Sam Peshek. Your thoughts on Simone Biles? We saw a few weeks ago in that big comeback. I think questions answered that night, and now building on that here at the U.S. Championships. You agree?
Yeah, I was expecting to see status quo here, and she started off this competition with a few wobbles on balance beam, which are uncharacteristic. Came back on floor and vault with a huge exclamation point. I think she gave herself a pep talk and was like, absolutely not.
Opened up with this on balance beam to start the night, and then over to floor exercise.
And it got even better. Her landings are so precise, and we talk about how this environment is tough to simulate, but someone like Simone Biles has had so much experience on the international field. She can adjust so quickly to put it right to her feet.
I could watch that all night, though.
Me too.
Yurchenko Devil Pike, and she is the only woman in the world to do that, and we saw it in suburban Chicago a few weeks ago, and now just as good, I think, just about as impressive as we saw.
Better.
It was better than the first one.
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
She's getting more confidence landing it perfectly.
Simone's been great, but John, she's not the only one who's impressed tonight.
Yeah, Shilese Jones, I tell you what, she's the one that really jumps out to me. We haven't seen her compete on a competition floor since she won a medal at the last World Championships. And really, if you want to go by World Championships most recently, she's the highest ranked all-around gymnast when she won that silver medal in Liverpool. And not seeing her, there was a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of people that are like, what's Shilese going to do? And yes, it hasn't been a perfect night for Shilese, but she certainly has impressed in spots. And I tell you what, I think USA Gymnastics is going to be happy to see that big 14.9 on bars, and certainly from here, you can only expect it to get better for Shilese Jones.
Yeah, John, that 14.9 on uneven bars, that was a major statement that we saw earlier in the evening, and to be able to build on that too. So head to that final rotation here, the National Championships, night 1 for the women in San Jose. Little water break in between rotations for Simone Biles. She'll be finishing up on uneven bars tonight. So 4th rotation underway. Terry Gannon, Sam Peshek, and John Roethlisberger in the house here. Tiana Sumina-Sekera now on uneven bars. This 4th rotation in 5th place. Wow. I was about to say in 5th place trying to make a move.
And you know what? This is a really big bummer because that's the exact same skill that she had the same mistake on at Classics. And you know, after Classics, she went back into the gym and she probably did hundreds more that were perfect of that skill. So it really must be a pressure situation.
That Core Hydration Classic just a few weeks ago in suburban Chicago, the first that we've seen for a number of these gymnast here in preparation for the U.S. Championships.
She overcorrected her mistake on that one just to get things going here. And again, really difficult to start this routine over knowing that you already have a fall. But she has improved so much on this event, and that's a big reason of why she moved to World Champion Center, is to improve her skill level here and endurance. Sometimes adding a bunch of difficult skills all at once, you don't quite have the repetitions in competitions to have that confidence.
Got to play on your mind a little bit, though, the next time you go out there on uneven bars.
You do, yep.
All right, how about Jade Carey getting set on balance beam to round out the evening? What do you make of what you've seen from Jade so far?
You know, I was just thinking about that, Terry, because she is such a phenomenal athlete. I've really enjoyed watching her both in elite and in college. She's done so many competitions this year, has so much difficulty. This is not her best self. So you can see it on her face. She's really frustrated, I think, with her performance here, but doesn't quite have the repetitions with the difficulty she's showing here today.
Share of 12th going into the final rotation is not where she expected to be.
No, but you have to also think about the transition from college to the elite competition, and it might take her a little bit longer. Back handspring, layout. Really beautifully done.
Hang on, no.
Man, it's just not her day. You know, you wake up and it doesn't matter what sport. Sometimes you just have an off day, and I've seen her train. She looks good and consistent, and it's just not her day today. Doing a nice job bringing it back on track. Sometimes when you have a few wobbles in your beam routine, all you can think about is, I want to get off the beam. So she's gearing up for her dismount now, wanting to finish it strong, and she does, but again, just wasn't her day. And that's the good thing about championships, is it's a two-day competition.
Yeah, she knew it halfway through that routine, obviously the fall, but also just the expression on her face. 11.55 for Gianna Suminasekara on uneven bars. Had that top 5 position going into this last rotation. So a moment ago, Leanne Wong in 3rd place. She's right there behind Shilese Jones and Simone Biles leading the way, but out on floor.
Open, strong double-double, stays in bounds. Double layout, that's a brand new skill for her. And check out the artistry, elongation. Everything is stretched from her fingers to her toes. No one does it better than Leanne. It's so beautiful to watch.
Seven-tenths of a point behind Charlize Jones in third place heading into the final rotation. So there's the number 13.35, John.
Yeah, I was just out on the floor, and her coach, Jenny Rowland, came up to me and said she came off floor, and she was really excited, but the first thing out of her mouth was, and I got an extension on my homework. She started classes, and I guess the most exciting thing for her after that routine was the fact that her homework's not due till Monday. There you go.
That is a relief. There's no question about that. Goes to school, competes collegiately for the University of Florida. How about the number for Jade Carey? Obviously lower than she wanted.
Yeah, we saw some wobbles there. It wasn't her best work, and you could just tell she was mentally frustrated, and balance beam is a tough event to handle in the middle of that. But you can see the pep talk from her coach, Tanya Chaplin, and I think she just needs a good night of sleep. Sometimes that fixes everything.
Sixth place, well positioned, Jocelyn Robertson, the 17-year-old from Texas. Uneven bars, her final event of the evening, short time ago.
This is the event that she had a problem, a fall at Classics, so really wanting to improve this. It was her new skill. I'll point it out when it comes. Little shy, working hard for this rhythm here, fighting through this bar routine. And good way to finish. You know what? She took out the skill that she had some trouble on, decided to go with a more consistent routine for her. But that's why you see the difficulty a bit lower than we saw at Classics.
Yeah, 11-8, the overall number. In sixth going into this rotation, but just really on the move overall. There's no doubt.
Yeah, gymnastics really has a big strategy component to it. Risk versus reward. Are you going to throw the difficulty to have a little more risky elements, or are you going to play it safe and make a clean routine?
That team event has got to help. Support your confidence. Yes, challenging you every day in the gym, but also once you get to competition, knowing that you've got a group there with you.
Yeah, and on good days, on bad days, you know they're going to be there, and it feels a little bit more comfortable than maybe if you were training by yourself. I trained by myself, and I always wish that I was at meets like this with teammates.
Take you over to balance beam now, and Marissa Neal, the 17-year-old from Blue Springs, Missouri, 18th place. Eighth place on balance beam in 2022.
Starting off back handspring layout series. She's doing a nice job moving through this beam routine. You don't want to see the athletes pause up there. One, there's too much time to think. But two, it's also a deduction. Oh. Finishing double pike. Good clean routine, not quite the difficulty that some of the athletes have here, but executed it nicely.
Teenager from Missouri, Marissa Neal. Still to come, Simone Biles, final event of the night for her on uneven bars. Final rotation underway here in San Jose. As mentioned, it's the first time at the National Championships we've had 2 Olympic all-around champs. Simone Biles still to come on uneven bars, and Suni Lee will finish up on balance beam. Would you say 58 medals from the Worlds and the Olympics overall?
58, yep. World Championships, Olympic Games, just on this competition floor.
U.S. women and the teams dominant at the World Championships, obviously. Joey Miller now. Last words of encouragement from Laurent Landy. 23rd place heading into the final rotation.
Now we talk about Charlize Jones' bar score. She got a 14.9, which is huge. But guess what? Zoe Miller has 1 more tenth of difficulty than Charlize Jones. Oh, no. Man, she has a jam-packed, difficult bar routine, and it makes it that much harder. Man, it's not the bar routine she was hoping for.
So once that happens, is your mind racing, trying to make adjustments then?
Yeah, I think it's the most difficult event to make a mistake on, because you're trying to gauge whether you have enough rhythm and strength to pick up where you left off. She tried it a second time and obviously did not have the momentum to do it correctly, so she had to come off the bar, and frankly, now she's gonna have to start over. So 2 major mistakes before she's gonna salute again, which mentally is really challenging to salute and do a good routine. This is gonna be a good test for her. Big release moves, slight separation there on the combination. She won bars at Classics. She's capable of a huge number, but she told me that she definitely feels more pressure this year.
What do you think he's saying right now?
He's giving her corrections and really trying to figure out what went wrong. Why did that happen? You don't make this mistake in practice. Let's see. That's called an in-bar move. And sometimes when you're trying to be too perfect, she was trying to pirouette and land vertical and mistimed it, not once, but twice. And man, you are just wanting to throw something, because it is infuriating knowing that you can do it so well, but couldn't quite get it this time around.
So Zoe Miller, then Jordan Childs, and Simone Biles, the last 3 in uneven bars. A moment to go on vault. Sky Blakely in 4th heading into this final rotation.
Doing a Yurchenko double full. Oh, couldn't have done that landing any better. I'm liking what I'm seeing on this vault rotation.
Family likes it too. Yep, so does she. 9.35 the execution. And overtook Wong, who is in 3rd place heading into this rotation. So it's a good number, really good number.
Yeah, overall, I'm really impressed with all of these athletes and the way they're controlling and finding those vault landings. They're getting every 10th they can, and that's what the selection committee wants to see.
And remember, this sets up night 2. Have it in prime time on NBC here at the National Championship. So you want to get as close to the top of that leaderboard heading into that second night as possible, obviously. Jordan Childs next to go on bars. Does it affect you having just watched that routine?
Yeah, it does. And you're hoping that she wasn't watching. But given that this is her club teammate, she probably was cheering for her. But that's where experience comes into play. And someone like Jordan that's been to the Olympic Games before, she's competed in college all season. She's had to go after falls. So if there's someone that has a lot of practice doing this, it's Jordan Childs.
Stepped in and really helped the U.S. win that silver medal in the team event in Tokyo.
Her goals coming in here is really, she said, just want to tell everybody that I am still here. She goes, I already went to the Olympics, so there's a lot less pressure for me this time around. Dynamic athlete, good vertical pirouettes. What she does well is her execution. Her legs are straight, they're glued together in every release move. Her handstands are vertical. This is looking really nice. That's really the best she could have done it.
She knows, so does he.
You know, we talk about falling, and it just is so frustrating. When you hit a good routine like Jordan just did, it is the world's best feeling.
Smile from her coach, both her coaches, and hugs. Simone as well after that routine on bars for Jordan Childs. Yeah, that's Jordan's family, by the way, watching. Standing ovation, as it should be. Should be a good number, too.
Yeah, she's an all-around athlete, so for her to come out here and do well in the all-around across the board doesn't quite have the difficulty on individual events yet, but she's still consistent, and that's her expertise here.
Woo! What a day! 144. That's all I came out here to do. Pretty good. I love everybody out there, family, friends, whoever's watching. Let's run it back.
You know, I do different sports. I do golf as well. Jordan Smith, it must be something with the name Jordan. You always shut up and listen because they'll give you commentary after he hits a tee shot or something. And Jordan Childs, after a routine, will give you commentary.
She answered the questions I was going to interview her with, so thanks for doing my job for me. She said 4 for 4, let's run it back. You can tell she got a lot of confidence for her.
Let's go, Mo, you got this!
And now we'll cheer for Simone Biles. To close out the evening for her.
You know, different than Jordan Childs, Simone is so quick. Routine is fast, it's to the point, she gets on, gets off with the least amount of deductions.
Sam, that was over before it started.
It was. I hope you didn't blink.
It flew by. Absolutely making it look so easy.
And I'm guessing she's having the same thoughts as Jordan Childs. I did my job. It's 50% done. It's a 2-day competition, but she should be really proud of her work today.
The reactions, though, tonight, different than we saw a few weeks, just taking it in stride. I expected this. Okay, I came back, competed. Here's where I'm at. Now let's just go ahead and move forward.
Yeah, she means business.
Yep.
You can tell she's got a game face on tonight. She's a little bit more intense.
From one Olympic all-around champ to another. Suni Lee, only 2 events tonight, and now finishes up on balance beam. NCAA champ. We saw her earlier on vault.
What you're going to notice about Suni is the way that she finesses each skill. A lot of athletes had trouble with that triple wolf turn, but not Suni. She lands so light on the beam. Talk about Simone having that game face on. I see that here with Suni too. Looks like she just didn't have enough momentum going into that last skill. Couldn't correct her mistake in the air.
Mentioned her early tonight, the issues she's had with a kidney illness and just trying to, for any athlete, the unknown as you try to figure things out, that is so difficult to come out and compete against the best in the world.
It is, especially when you haven't had the numbers to gain confidence in the gym. Let's see what happened. It's a triple series, very difficult. She's square, she's straight on the beam. Here's where things went sideways. She didn't push equally out of her back foot going into the last layout, which threw her off the beam. You see her take a big deep breath to remount.
That road back to health and back to the top in terms of an elite gymnast can be tough at times.
Yeah, making that be routine or falling. I mean, she's still an inspiration to all of us.
How about Charlize Jones in second place behind Simone Biles going into her final rotation.
This is a new floor routine. She's excited to debut it here. It's going to show off her more elegant and soft side, which is a change for her. What you're gonna notice is how high her chest is when she lands. Saw a lot of out of bounds today, that 1/10 deduction. I love all the artistry in that routine. It was beautiful to watch, and what a way to get back to competition.
Yeah, it's been a good night. 13.85 for Charlize Jones into second place. That's where she was. Simone Biles, of course, the leader. And Suni Lee, 13.25, the number for balance beam with the fall.
It's not a bad score, but look at that execution, 7.65. She can do much better than that.
And the final event for Simone, uneven bars, 14.35 in the first place, as expected. Opening night for the women complete, and it is Simone Biles at the top, 59.3. That's the number she will take into night 2. She's standing by with John.
Thanks, Terry. Simone, all night the judges get to evaluate you, but you evaluate you for the rest of us.
Yeah, I think beam started off a little bit rough, but that's kind of to be expected. You get your nerves out of the way, and then after that, it was pretty smooth sailing. I'm pretty happy with the overall meet today. My goal for the weekend is just to hit 8 for 8, and then hopefully come in on Sunday and hit a little bit of a smoother beam routine.
So you've done it all. It's been well documented. This would be your 8th national title. What keeps driving you?
Yeah, I think I just have personal goals that I want to meet and keep pushing forward, so that's what I'm aiming for.
The big question, though, did you buy a Packer cheesehead yet? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, it's actually ironic. Right before he got switched teams, I did an event in Wisconsin, and they sent me home with a cheesehead, and Jonathan was like, absolutely not. And now I'm like, see, we could have used that cheesehead. It was kind of like manifestation or something. So I haven't, but I did have one.
Nice, I love it. Back to you, Terry.
All right, John, thanks. Mentioned earlier, her husband plays for the Packers, so getting ready for that season. Simone Biles, great opening night here, first of 2 in San Jose, as we continue from the national championships in a moment. The 2023 Xfinity U.S. Gymnastics Championships are brought to you by Core Hydration. Core Hydration believes that wellness is whatever works for you. Find your balance, find your core. By Prevagen. By Angie. Visit Angie.com to connect with skilled professionals for all your home projects. And by Xfinity, the Xfinity 10G network. The future starts now. And back inside with a look at tonight's powerful performance presented by the Xfinity 10G network. The Xfinity 10G network gives you a powerful connection today for a faster, more reliable tomorrow. The next generation 10G network only from Xfinity, Sam.
Check this out. Incredible. And handles the landing like it was an easy vault or something. Huge, dynamic, controlled landing. You really can't ask for anything else here. And check out how high she is.
Courtesy of Simone Biles, the powerful performance presented by the Xfinity 10G network. So that does it for the opening night of the women's competition here in San Jose. Remember, you can watch all the routines at the USA Gymnastics YouTube channel. Just setting the table for night 2 for the women here at Nationals. For John Roethlisberger, Sam Pescick, and our entire NBC Sports crew, I'm Terry Gannon saying so long for now from San Jose and the 2023 Xfinity U.S. Gymnastics Championships.